is the Marketing Masterclass. This month we are talking about video and how video is used in, well, how you can use video in all of your marketing. We'll talk about how video fits into the marketing blueprint and all of those phases of marketing. You've got prospecting, you've got your follow-up procedures, you've got your post-sale activities. All of those things can benefit from a good use of video. You may have noticed that there are a lot more videos on the web nowadays. There are a lot more people using broadband internet connections, and the cost of equipment to produce videos has gone down quite a bit. So those are all things that are working in our favor. And also the search engines give you a little bit of a break. When you post video files, they index those faster than any other type of file. So you'll want to take advantage of all of those things and start thinking about using video in your business, even if you haven't ever used video before. Here are some possible ways to use videos. We'll talk about demonstrating products. We will talk about interviews and personality pieces. I ran across a great quote from Will Rogers recently. It's hard not to like a person if you know their story. I think that's true, and I think that's also true. People want to buy from people that they feel like they know. So if they've seen you demonstrating your product or giving an interview or something like that, they feel more comfortable making a purchase from your company. We'll talk about employee features, some things like, if you have an employee party or an employee event celebrating an anniversary or a retirement or something like that, you may want to include video like that. Photo slideshows. If you are someone that has a portfolio, like a photographer or an artist of any kind, you may want to create a portfolio that's set to music. Presentations. If you give presentations as part of your sales process, you give a PowerPoint presentation in front of clients, it's fairly simple to capture that PowerPoint video with a voiceover and use that as a video file. Software tutorials, we'll talk about how to make those work for you if you sell a software product. Facility tours, if you have a building or a facility that you want to show off, we can show you how to do that. And capitalizing on the news. News events are always a great way to show how your product is relevant. Things like that. We'll talk about planning your video. Some videos are better if they're planned, if you have a script or at least an outline. Some videos are better if they're not planned. So you may want to get used to carrying your camera around with you different places. We'll talk about how long a video should be. Some of the other design considerations when you talk about video. Equipment, do you need a camera, lighting, microphones, other kinds of things? In some cases, you already have all of the equipment that you need to make a good video. A lot of people are surprised to find out that their camera takes pretty decent video, the camera that they already have. But if you need to purchase equipment, we'll talk about some of the things that you may want to look into. We'll talk about getting good sound in your video. Strangely enough, people are always worried about the quality of the camera and the resolution. But the thing that is the most distracting or detracts the most from the quality of your video is usually the sound. So we'll talk about how to make that better. We'll talk about tips for the camera shy, how to be comfortable in front of the camera, and so forth. So we'll also talk about adding titles, thumbnails, adding intro and outro music, selecting a thumbnail, other kinds of things that can make your presentation a little bit more professional. We'll talk about what to do with the video once you've produced it, how places that you can use CDs or DVDs, sending them in direct mail, using them in your waiting room, as a way of getting people ready or answering their questions in advance of talking with you. And we'll talk about your video file, where to upload it on the web, some of the considerations in making it really useful and getting a lot of good traffic to it. And we'll talk about getting videos done in the course of your daily life. They can be pretty disruptive when you're filming, but we'll talk about ways to work that into your day and getting that done. And of course, we'll have our usual features: recommended reading list, our resource list, our action list for the month, what we are hoping that you'll complete as a result of this course, and the Show Your Work Challenge. We'd love to see your video The deadline for that will be the end of the month, and we'll want to see some of the videos that you produced as a result of this class. And of course, we'll include the best ones on our blog to give you a little bit of additional visibility in addition to the good that you're going to be doing just by working through this class. So we're looking forward to it. Let's go ahead and dig in.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the video for aviation marketing. I think you'll find that video is one of the most versatile marketing tools you will ever use. It can be used in any of the three phases of marketing. In prospecting, it's a really good way to introduce a new client gently to your product or service in a way that's really painless for him and easy for you. It's also a good way to help people come to the conclusion to make a sale. Maybe they've been on your mailing list for a while, but they're just not sure. They don't believe that your product will work until they actually see it. And in some cases, it's also really great for customer service, repeat sales, referrals, and testimonials, because when you send a video to your existing customers, they are more likely to show other people, this is what I'm using and it's great for this reason, because they're able to actually show someone instead of having to explain it. So it makes it a lot easier, for all of those phases of marketing. This is the tree that you've seen many, many times before, and we're going to see it many times again. All of these red areas can be served with video. Search engine optimization is a great reason to do video. When you do a video and you tag it properly, and we'll show you how to do that, it becomes really prime material for search engine traffic. A lot of people are looking for videos on a particular topic. So if you happen to have a video that your company has produced, it's a really great way to get a high placement on a search engine. Social media connections. We've all looked at videos on Facebook and on YouTube. So this is a really good way to introduce your product or service to people that don't know you. You can add a video on your blog. It's a good way to come up with new material that, maybe you've done an article about a particular topic, but you could do a video on the same topic and capture an entirely new audience or help people understand it in an entirely different way. Everybody's different. Some people would prefer to see a video than see something in writing. And, there's a few people that prefer writing, but I think most of us prefer video, especially if we're busy and we need to understand something quickly. So in a lead capture situation, you could use a video as bait for your lead capture mechanism. Somebody would have to enter a username and password, or at least a first name and an email in order to access your video. I don't usually recommend that. The way that I found this the most effective is to produce a really short video that advertises your ebook. It seems kind of counterintuitive to have an advertisement for a free thing, but if that's a vital link in your sales process, then it makes perfect sense, and it's very much worth the investment if you can up that conversion rate just a little bit. And again, having that as new online content so people keep coming back to your blog, you can refer to a video in your printed newsletter. You could even take still shots out of the video and say, come see our video on this topic. That's a good way to tie your printed newsletter together with your website and other social media. Email. Some packages will allow you to actually embed a video into an email, and some people will get that on their phone or on their other device, their iPad. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's a technology that you want to keep an eye on, and if it's something that your customers are using, then you'll want to take advantage of every possibility you have. Again, customer service, it's really great for product tutorials. If you keep getting the same question over and over again, think about producing a video that explains how to solve a problem, or how to use your product in the most effective way. And that can save you a lot of phone calls and make your customers a lot more satisfied with your product. And again, it helps your referral program if people have something that they can pass along to friends and colleagues and say, this is what I'm using and this is how it works. Why every business should be using video. 51.5% of NBAA members are using YouTube. So, if you want to reach more than half of the people out there, this is a fairly good way of doing that. And of course, those numbers have been growing all the time. It's just slightly behind Facebook as the most popular method or the most popular social media venue. And, that's why we use these as our first two classes this year, Facebook and YouTube. And we'll explain how that works. Okay, so why every business should be using video? Because everybody watches video. I don't know anybody on the planet that hasn't watched at least one video. There may be some, but they're probably not your prospective customers. Videos are great search engine content. Videos attract attention to your site. There's this strange phenomenon that, watching a video takes less energy than reading a web page. I'm not sure if that's true, but that's definitely the perception. People would rather spend 5 minutes watching a video than spend 5 minutes reading a web page. So, video is a really good investment to attract attention of people. So some ideas for using video, and we'll look at some examples of each of these. Product demonstrations, interviews, personality pieces, employee features, contest fan videos, slideshows. Those are really easy. Some of these are easier than others. Presentations and explanations of concepts, tutorials, facility tours, capitalizing on news items, and humor. All of those are great uses of video. And if you think that your business doesn't lend itself well to video, there is one or more of these ideas that I think you'll find is a good fit.